Okay, so here we go with the scales. We've got the G10 on. You can see that they're on a little crooked and kind of sticking out more, but that's all the stuff that's going to come off anyway. So I think that the look is pretty cool though, with those liners there. I've also been doing some shaping the whole week pretty much to kind of get my handle scales the way that I'm looking for them. You can see here that I've got enough grip for my hand if I'm going to be holding it more in a full fist grip. I can also choke up here. We'll take a look at where the blade comes in this, but the way that the knife was originally made, there is enough room for me to get my hand here underneath the blade and kind of just have this little choil. So I think I'll be able to choke up a lot more to do some finer work with the knife. I'm going to try and also put in a backspacer with a couple of standoffs. With this handle, the way that I had it though, I didn't really get the best shape to cover everything. There was some knife sticking out at the back, some of the blade, so when I traced it onto the scale, I did kind of adjust the back here. So we're going to see what happens. I've got the Dremel, and we're going to get set up here in a little bit and see if we can try and shape these. Thanks. Okay guys, back here, that's what we've got so far. Kind of roughed out, got my general shape. You can see where we've had the grip from before, the start of the choil up top. I think I've done most of the work that I'm going to do with the Dremel, and now I'm going to do some stuff by hand and try and bring it down to the exact shape I want, and then start to round everything off a bit more, and then I'll drill my holes from there. But we'll keep you updated. There's our blue liners. So far it's going pretty well. The Dremel work was much more difficult than I thought it was going to be at first. It was kind of just a lot of work grinding through it. This wood was kind of a bitch to get through, but it's going well so far. Check back in a bit. Alright guys, so I was doing some more work on the Purple Heart scales, and frankly I screwed it all up. So I'll show you what happened here. You can see that I got some more shaping done on the scales. I was planning on drilling my holes ahead of time, drilling my holes out, lining everything up, and then I was going to take this down more and really round off the edges with the Dremel. And what ended up happening is I drilled my holes, but I kind of screwed up with drilling the holes. What I meant to do is drill them one diameter the whole way through, and then drilling them a diameter so that the head of the screw would fit through, and only having that go down about halfway on each scale. But I screwed up and I drilled it the whole way through, so the hardware that I was planning on using wasn't going to fit anymore. So what I ended up doing is trying to drill it out a bigger diameter so that I could use the original like Chicago screws that came with the peasant knives. And when I went ahead to do that, I ended up cracking my scale, as you can see here, and when I did that I knocked off the G10. So lesson learned. I think I learned a few things here. Pretty much with the whole process so far I've learned a few things, especially on the Dremel side as well. So what I'm going to do is take what I learned from that and go ahead and get started, and I'm going to epoxy up my spalted maple with my other G10 liners. You can see with this one I've already started roughing up one half of the G10 so that when I epoxy it, it's going to adhere better. So I've just got some like 60 grit sandpaper roughing that up. I'll do the other one here, and then I will mix up my epoxy and clamp them together, and we'll just go ahead and take a look at that in 1 second. Okay, so here's what we're working with now, similar to what you've seen in a previous video. I've just got wood scale with some epoxy to the G10, and then separately some wood scale with epoxy to G10, and then I've just sandwiched them both together. There's no epoxy in between the two pieces of wood. So I'll let this cure overnight, and hopefully try and start getting some work on it this time tomorrow. If not, the weekend coming up, I'll try and do some work at that point with the Dremel, and we'll get some more updates. Cross my fingers that I learn from my last mistakes and get some successful scales this time around. So stay tuned for some updates. Also stay tuned for more videos on some other things. I've got a new pack that I just picked up, and also some ideas for other videos on some gear that I've been using for a while now, and also hopefully an outing to come as well. So hit the subscribe button if you're interested, and as always, feedback is much appreciated. Thanks for watching, guys.